The business end of beekeeping, not getting screwed. I've been beekeeping for 7 years, and I've been screwed several times. Like for instance, 2017, I bought some queens from Foley's Russian bees. And half of them died during shipping. Of 46 queens, only about 20 of them made actual colonies. And then they were dying after that. And I contacted Foley and I said, hey, your queens are dying. And he asked, well, how old are your frames? He tried suggesting my frames are full of pesticides and chemicals. And I said, well, 2 years or less, because I hadn't had as many bees before. So most of my frames were brand new. So he tried doing a cop-out on that. His queens are just basically no good. And the packages I bought for his queens, I bought from a local beekeeper. And I asked him before, I says, how do you make up for your losses, from the varroa mites? He said, well, by selling bees to people. So I'm thinking, okay, their goal is to sell bees and make money. The bees you buy from people and packages are not necessarily healthy bees. You're buying them in April, May. They're bees that were in California doing the almonds. They're not very healthy. I'm suggesting you breed your own bees. And why do I make these videos? Not because I love people and I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help bees, and I'm trying to hurt the people that are ripping people off. It's one of my pet peeves. I do not like people that rip other people off. So I try to get even with them by doing videos, putting them on YouTube. And I've hurt Jason Foley's Russian bees. And now I'm working on Nod apiaries, Formic Pro, formic acid. I used this for 2 falls in a row. Last September, I just bought 3 of these. They're not expired yet. See? September 2020. They did not kill the varroa mites. I assumed it did. And I was thinking, well, why are my bees dying? And then when I actually started looking at my bees close up, I saw varroa mites. One out of every 100 bees had a varroa mite on it. So I quickly ordered one of these, and I bought it from Better Bee. And they're pretty much all the beekeeping supply stores, online stores, catalogs, pretty much at all the same price. I can't seem to find this any lower than $165. I've been on eBay. They're all over 160, and I don't understand. It's a piece of metal with some wire and some clamps on it. Why is it worth 160? And then the other thing, I went ahead and I bought some acetic acid from Better Bee because I didn't want to spend a lot of time. I wanted to get it right away, basically. 350 grams, $38. $38 for the 350 grams. But then later on, I started looking on eBay. You can get this for around 26, and then on Walmart online store, you can get it for around 28. Do you know the difference of that? If I would have bought this for $26 or even $28, this would have cost me $2.15. So I know Better Bee is buying they're buying this in bulk and they're packaging it. So it takes some time and money to do that. But still, for them to make $35 off of each one of these, what a ripoff. People aren't allowed to scalp tickets for sports events and stuff like that. As far as I know, they're still not allowed to. But is that any different than buying something and reselling it to somebody else with, like 1,000% markup or whatever? That's just ridiculous. So, and I'm getting off track here. But anyway, and then the queens you buy in these packages, I can pretty much guarantee the majority of them are older queens from last year. The commercial beekeepers, they want to requeen every year because they want to make sure they get a good colony and make a lot of honey. And they don't want a queen to die during the middle of the summer. So they take that queen, they'll stick it in a package, and they'll sell it along with their bees. So if you want good quality bees, you got to breed your own. And this is how I get even with Better Bee. I'll show you. Now, I always wonder why Better Bee calls themselves Better. See their galvanized cover here. I bought this one from them. And then I went ahead and I started buying galvanized. It's a lot cheaper. But then I started wondering, well, during the summer, when the sun's shining, these are really, really bright, hard on your eyes, and they're blazing hot. So then I started thinking, well, gee, why not? This is white aluminum. A lot of builders use this for trim around windows and doors. It comes on a 50-foot roll, 2-foot wide. It's really, really cheap. It does not get hot during the summer. And it's just as easy to work with as the gal. It's actually easier, and it's just as durable. Now, I just finished 36, well, cutting 36 deep. So I can still have to, the finished side goes on the inside. These are actual 2x12s, and I like 7/8. So the finished side goes on the inside. And when I get done drilling the holes, gluing this and screwing it, and then I cut out, with the chisel, I cut out the handles, I will take and I will sand it down. But Better Bee's charging $17 and change for one of these, and I can make it, the price of lumber's gone up a little bit this year. I can make it for $6 each, so there I'm saving money. But the only thing I buy from Better Bee that I really need is their global patty, the pollen patty. I do not use a substitute, and I'm not going to use soybeans. Soybeans are full of chemicals, so I do buy their pollen patty. It's the only place I could find natural pollen patty. And then I got, when it was warm here the last few days, I got out my medium supers, and I got them ready for my colonies here. When the queens start laying, all the ones that are inside, my outside ones already have it. But all the ones, I've got 50 colonies that don't have a medium right now. And I want to make sure, I got to keep track, make sure they don't starve. And I want the queen to start laying down here in the deep before I give them the medium. So about end of January, February, I'm going to give them some pollen patty. And then probably sometime in February, mid-February, I'm going to give them that medium with honey in it. And then if you put your bees in a room and it gets too warm, you can either heat your house, but then you can't have your house really warm. And what I did for a couple of weeks, I heated the house with the bees and checked the propane tank. We didn't use hardly any propane. Now I'm trying a different approach here. I don't have any windows in this room, but I do have a storm door on this, and I can leave this door like this, depending on what the temperature is outside and how cold it is in here, or if it's super cold. But it's end of December, and my colonies are actually shrinking because bees are getting old and dying, so they're not putting out as much heat as they have been. And in another month to 6 weeks, when the queen starts laying, and they will be putting out more heat to actually reverse. I'll have to make sure they don't get too hot. So, and I do breed my own queens, make my own bees. If this is the first time you see my video, check out my other videos. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hurt the bee industry by them selling queens and packages to people year after year after year and ripping people off. So watch my videos, save your money, and I do want to mention one thing here. I've been an electrical contractor for 14 years, and we get a certain amount for every mile we drive. Most businesses do. I think like 50 cents a mile, 56 cents a mile. Transmission went out in my Silverado in 2018, and I put all my extra money into my bee business because people have been treating me like shit ever since I started my business. I've been really nice to people. I'm the cheapest contractor in the area. I'll give you an example. I wired a new house for a guy, and then he built a garage, and he asked me to give him a price. I gave him a price, and I never heard back from him. And a few months later, he called me up and wanted me to fix something in his garage that this other guy had done wrong. And I'm licensed and insured, but there are other people out there that have a little bit of experience doing electrical work that are taking work away from me. So, and then this guy had the nerve to tell me, well, I'll pay you to come over here and fix it. And I said, yeah, okay, whatever. Somebody screws me over like that, I do not ever do anything for them again. And this is my old car here. It still runs. I did my business out of this car here. See, I can put ladders in it for basically a year and a half. And I'm getting 56 cents a mile driving this 4-cylinder, getting like 26, 27 miles per gallon. There's a local contractor in the area driving a van, pulling a trailer. Now, do you think he's going to make any money doing that? So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm writing off all these miles that I'm driving on my car, and I'm not spending money on those miles. I'm putting that money into my electrical or my bee business, because I've gotten to the point now where I can't stand people. I love bees. I hate people. And I just happen to have most of my stuff that I have here, I bought to get my electrical business going. So I already had the equipment. And then if you want to save some money, don't buy nukes. Don't waste your time and money on nukes. If you haven't seen my videos, this is excess material left over from building my hives. It didn't really cost me anything. I put those in a deep on both sides and put 5 frames in the middle. And then when that queen starts laying and they need more frames, I take those out and I put in frames. The nukes 5-frame hive bodies are a waste of money. Simplify your operation. Don't get screwed by the bee industry. And, well, I haven't sold any honey yet because I need my honey. I keep expanding every year. This is honey. I've got a screen on it to keep the mice from getting in there, and the OSB holds the screen down. So I need this honey. I haven't sold any honey. I haven't made $1 on bees, but I've increased the number of hives I have, all my equipment. Oh, and right here, this is a 25-year-old Ranger. No rust. And how do I do that? I spray used motor oil underneath it every fall, and I don't wash back in here during the winter. It is not rusted. I use chainsaw bar oil on every place is bent over. I put chainsaw bar oil in it. Look, it's a solid truck. 25 years old. And I don't know if you've seen the other videos, but I got all kinds of stuff in here. I get scrap lumber from building sites. So I'm not spending a lot of money with this bee business that I'm starting. And if you're not spending a lot of money, it's easier to make money. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. This is the pollen patty left over from the summer that I bought from Better Bee beginning of 2019. Keep it in the freezer. You can freeze that, use it again next year. Now this is a cellar. That goes to the outside. This is the only place that I have that wax moths have not been able to penetrate. And if I have frames in here, this is ground temperature, it's in the 50s. If I have frames that have, pollen on it and other things that I don't want wax moths to get to, I put it in here. But right now, I have several. Let's see, 7 by 6. 42 deeps worth of, well, I got some mediums here too. Wow, I forgot what I had here. I've got so much stuff. So even though I haven't sold any honey and made any money doing that, my bee business has got to be worth several $1,000s with all the stuff that I have. And I'm gearing up for 2020, and I will have over 100 bees, and I will actually have colonies out making honey in 2020. So, and hey, for a prepper, look at all the food. And for all you people who love wine. Okay, all done. Thank you.